Three, two. Good afternoon, world. You're probably looking at me like, who is this guy? Why is he so enthused? Why is he so excited? Today is a big day. I'm Justin Thomas, and this is my first video of my sports blog. I'm taking it viral. I'm Justin Thomas, also known as Mr. Sports From My Eyes. That's my brand. That's my movement. I'm pushing it, and I'm starting out early. And I'll hit you with 2 videos a week for now, a college football one and the NFL one, until the NBA starts, and I'll give you 3 a week. But until then, we just have college football and the NFL. So this one is a college football video. So my college football fans, get excited, hoorah, hoorah, jump around the room, because you're going to get some great insight. So we're going to get into the rankings. Number 1, we have Bama, 2 LSU, 3 Oregon, 4 Florida State, 5 Oklahoma, 6 Georgia, 7 West Virginia, 8 South Carolina, 9 Clemson, 10 Texas. You're probably wondering, why didn't I hear Southern Cal? Southern Cal is not in the top 10 anymore. They are ranked 12th by USA Today, and the reason for that is because they fell to the Stanford Cardinals this past weekend. 21-14. Matt Barkley really didn't have a great game. And usually when Matt Barkley doesn't play well, the Trojans don't do well. And Barkley has not defeated Stanford since being at Southern Cal. He's 0 for 4, 7 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So it's safe to say some teams just have your number. And for this day and age, Stanford has owned Southern Cal for the past 4 years. There's no reason to panic for Southern Cal fans. They will be back. You get to play Notre Dame. Who knows how good they'll be when you guys play them. And you still have to play Oregon, who will probably be more likely be undefeated when you guys play. And that'll catapult you guys back into the top 5 if you defeat them. So we'll have to wait till that day to hold that conversation. Another one is my shocker for the week. I can't even lie about this. I'm probably going to take some grief because Notre Dame defeated Michigan State at home this past weekend, 20-3. I was watching the game, and I was really expecting Michigan State to just beat them down, and I was wrong. Notre Dame looked, I wouldn't say great, but they looked solid. And their defense with, how you say his name, Te'o, the linebacker, he played out of his mind. He had 12 tackles. The offense, they did well. They didn't, do amazing, but they did all right. They scored 2 touchdowns. You had Everett Golston, the quarterback. They finally have a good quarterback. He's solid. He's a freshman, but I think Notre Dame fans should be excited because he's a solid passer, and he's also, a solid runner. You guys never had that presence. Brady Quinn wasn't going to take off and run, but Everett Golston will take off and run. So, that definitely is a good element they haven't had. He threw for a touchdown and ran for a touchdown, 0 interceptions. So, that's a good sign. They haven't been 3-0 in a very long time. So, Fighting Irish fans, get excited because you now have a little bit of hope. You guys might keep winning. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon and say, okay, they're going to win 10 games. I'm not going to do that because they will have a letdown game, but hopefully not because they've been struggling for a while, and I would like to see them do well. Good for college football, big-time fan base. And I also have my teams to look out for. Florida and Texas. I know you guys are thinking, the Gators, the Longhorns, why them? That's a good question that you ask because Florida is getting better. They're recruiting well, and they have, Will Muschamp. Hurts me to talk about Will because he left Texas. But, he is a solid defensive coordinator. Now he's a head coach for the Gators. And that means, when they had those good defenses with Brandon Spikes, those eventually come back now. He's recruiting them kids out of Florida. Always keep a lot of, speed and size within the state. And I don't know if you guys hear this phone ringing right now, but if you do, please try to ignore it. I was going to press ignore, but I want to give all my attention to you guys. So back to that. Florida, they're recruiting well, and they started off, winning some games. A lot of people didn't think they were going to win. They went on the road to Texas A&M, a solid opponent, beat them. And this past weekend, went out the Rocky Top and handled Tennessee. And a lot of people weren't expecting that. I think it's maybe 60 to 7% of the country have voted for Tennessee to win. And Florida beat them. So if you're a Gators fan, you have reasons to be excited and cheer for it, because down the line, I think you guys will be, contended for another, national title. I'm not going to say, like this year or next year. That's too soon. You have to get the kids that you want in, to fit your style of play. But this year, I think they can really surprise some teams, because they're tough games. They get South Carolina at home, and South Carolina, Georgia is always a big game to determine the SEC East. But it's very possible that they can handle Georgia and South Carolina and play in the SEC Championship. And that would be a great sign, to bring in kids and get, and build all that excitement for next season. So, Florida fans, be excited. And for my Longhorn fans, you should also be excited as well, because personally, I am a supporter of the Longhorns, and there really hasn't been a reason to cheer since Colt McCoy left. And, they have David Ash now, quarterbacking. He's solid. Nothing all-world just yet, but he's solid. We have some solid young backs in the defense. The defense is a top 10 defense. That's really, really going to strive to have a solid defense. And I really felt that Texas, they were a decent team, but they didn't have that quarterback. And, they don't need a great quarterback, just somebody that could manage the game like McCarron did for Alabama last year. But now, he's a better quarterback. So I'm hoping that David Ash can turn into a solid quarterback, and put Texas back in the top 5 or top 10 rankings, because they're going to hit a tough stretch. They play Oklahoma State this upcoming week. Then they get West Virginia and Oklahoma. They go to Oklahoma State. I actually think they'll handle them with that defense. That's, a nice, secondary. I think they'll get that one. The West Virginia game will be a big one, because I'm a big supporter of Geno Smith and Tavon Austin, and that West Virginia offense is something to watch. So, Texas and Florida fans, you guys aren't back just yet, but I definitely see in the next 2 to 3 years you guys will be back, because I'm seeing a lot of good signs. So that is also a good thing. And I have my Heisman hopeful. I've been a big Geno Smith fan for so long. Yeah, this is his senior year. And Geno Smith, if he stays on this track right now, he will be the Heisman winner. I know you guys are thinking, Geno Smith. Who is Geno Smith? Geno Smith plays quarterback for West Virginia. And if you have not seen the kid play, he's very accurate. He gets rid of the ball on time. He doesn't hold it for too long. And did I mention he's deadly accurate? He has 9 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 734 yards, and he's completing 88% of his passes. If that is something to be excited about, just as a college football fan, to watch a guy, be that precise and that accurate, I don't know what gets your blood going. And I know they haven't played anybody yet, but if you watched the game last year and saw what they did to Clemson, you know that West Virginia offense is something to watch. Because I have a feeling, if they can take care of Texas and Oklahoma, I don't think Oklahoma will be a problem for Texas or West Virginia, but I definitely think they can run the table. So a lot of guys, I know you guys aren't thinking about West Virginia, but West Virginia is a team to look out for. And Geno Smith, my Heisman hopeful. I was getting ready to actually make a blog post this week about Geno Smith, and I get on ESPN, and what do they have? Their Heisman frontrunner, Geno Smith. ESPN beat me to it. But you hearing it first. You're watching me say it's coming out of my mouth. 9/19/2012 at 6:51. I'm saying it. Geno Smith will be a Heisman finalist in New York. And he very well win it. If West Virginia runs the table, he'll probably win it. And for my preview next week, the big game of the week. Florida State and Clemson. 2 of the best teams in the ACC. And this is a very big game, because last year, after Florida State fell to Oklahoma, their heads wasn't really in it, and they went down the Death Valley and they took a L. As many believe, and I believe myself, that Florida State is back with the talent they have, the coaching staff, E.J. Manuel, the speed on both sides of the ball. They really need to beat Clemson. Last year, people said, Florida State's back. And they fell to Oklahoma, Clemson, Wake Forest. I know. I said the same thing. And Virginia. So if Florida State has any hope of getting back to how dominant they were with the Deion Sanders and the Warwick Dunns and the Chris Winkies and the Greg Jones, when they were really good, they really need to beat Clemson, because I believe if they beat Clemson, they'll run the table. They get Florida at home this year, and we all know Miami ain't hitting on anything. So that they should definitely run the table. Oh, they also play Virginia Tech. That shows you how I feel about Virginia Tech. So with all the talent that they have, it should be a good game, because Clemson is no slouch. Ranked 10th in the country. You have Taj Boyd, and you have one of the best playmakers in college football on the field in Sammy Watkins. Anytime Sammy Watkins touched the ball, he could take it to the house at any given moment, where it's a kickoff return, punt return, catching out the backfield, a screen play, or a deep route, and he's insanely fast. It still blows my mind how we got outside the state of Florida. But I guess Dabo Swinney's doing a good job recruiting, because they also have the number one, recruit in the country coming to Clemson next year. So Clemson fans, be excited. But I really want to say this with my heart, and I hope I'm right. But I'm predicting Florida State will win 31-27. That's what I'm going with. I think the defense holds up. I believe E.J. Manuel will make the right reads and the right choices. I believe Washington will have a big day at the backfield. And those fans have a reason to be excited, because if they handle Clemson, I really don't see them having a hiccup in the road, even though they are known for letdowns. But I don't think Jimbo Fisher is going to let that happen. So I would like you guys to leave your comments, your feedback, subscribe, like the video, dislike it, and give me some feedback on what more you like to hear. What would you like me to focus on? If there's certain teams you'd like me to talk about, or certain conferences, feel free. So I'm a little nervous, but I'm also very excited. And I was actually aiming for a 5 to 8 minute window, and I ended up pushing 12. But if you need me, you can find me on Twitter at JTyree704, JTYREE704, and I'm also on Facebook, facebook.com/SportsFromMyEyes. So I have another video coming, if not today, sometime tomorrow, talking about the NFL. But I'm glad you guys watched it. Enjoy the rest of your day, and remember, Sports from My Eyes, it's a movement. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Be safe.